So humility, as with ethics and integrity, those are the core foundations, and the way it gets implemented is through implementation science. Hi, I'm Dr. Colleen Lyons. In the past 10 years, I've lived in 5 states, and it's all been in pursuit of my work around ethics and bioethics, and now AI ethics. I have a pretty broad experience in business, and I wrote my dissertation on why airplanes fall from the sky and how ethical leadership failures create catastrophe. AI has enormous potential to increase efficiency, increase productivity, increase innovation, which is absolutely essential in the market that we are in. It can enable supply chain enhancements. It can enable HR. There are many downsides to it that have to be taken into account, but those are just top of mind benefits of AI properly implemented in a business. That is an excellent question, and in my mind, it is the most important question. There are tons of books right now and articles where people are almost carelessly putting together roadmaps and how-to guides for implementing AI. And my research has shown that there is very little discussion around integrity and ethics in the implementation of the AI. Now, there are 2 fundamental issues with that. The first is from a business perspective. If ethics and integrity are not integral to the process that you have, it will most likely fail. AI is the most monumental change management initiative modern business has known, and 70% of change management initiatives fail. So what hope is there for AI if the underlying integrity and ethics and cultural elements are not addressed? So it's fundamental to a successful implementation, and it's actually a competitive advantage. Probably the fundamental one is, on a technical level, is a misunderstanding about what AI is. As I said before, there is so much publication right now. Very, very, very little of it is truly vetted and understood. So there's a lot of lipstick. So that is a tremendous obstacle that leaders have to resist a couple of things. Number one, that AI is for business sake. It is not for AI's sake. There's going to be enormous pressure on leaders and middle and senior managers to deploy AI to be competitive. You know who's going to be applying that pressure? The vendors who want to sell AI, whether or not they have a quality product. And number 2, there are going to be employees who want to implement AI because they want it, they want the experience, they want it on their resume. And if you're not in it for the long haul for the right reasons, tied specifically to a business outcome with very analytical assessment of the resources and budget that's required, and there's not a long-term commitment over a couple of years, that's a huge obstacle. Yes, absolutely. It's actually called the implementation science, and it's borrowed from the healthcare industry. The healthcare industry is using implementation science in order to bring drugs and medical devices to market sooner so that we can help patients sooner and collapse the development and to market life cycle. The reason why I chose implementation science is because, as I said earlier, there's a lot of words and thought on top, and there's nothing underneath. So as a business community, or even as a society, if we abide by those things that don't have any heft underneath, the whole thing will collapse. Now, implementation science uses things like understanding your framework. What are we going to do? Assessing the foundational gaps that you have. What do we have today? What is it that we need in terms of technology, skills? business environment? What are the regulatory environments? So it's very, very incremental in terms of deploying AI and treating it as though it is a manufacturing, for example, or something that would be tangible. So that is what's differentiated in the right and good AI model that I am developing. Start with humility. I'm saying that for several reasons. One is, one of the premier thought leaders in AI said that his biggest concern is that leaders will not have the humility to understand that they don't know AI and that they will think that they know it. And that's number one. Number two, my colleague Francisco Vasquez has written a dissertation on the correlation between humility and business outcomes through a team, the enhancements to innovation and problem solving, and also market innovation. Well, the first thing is to have a very clear discussion around what AI is and what it isn't, and engage the students from the very beginning. We as a society are just figuring out what AI is. And if we think as professors or as administration that we know AI and the students don't, we are cheating ourselves. And that's where humility comes in. It's all together that we need to do it, is to collaborate. What is AI? And secondly, in an academic setting, what is the best way to use it so that we're still in creating critical thinking at the university without saying you can't use AI. So you have to blend both, and that's a collaboration with students, faculty, and the administration. That is a great question. One has to start to be trained to look for it. I was just preparing this presentation and I used ChatGPT-4 as part of my presentation, very transparently, which transparency is essential. And I noticed that some of the graphic images that I used, for example, when you look, at first they look so cool. And then when you look, they make no sense. Words are garbled. And also when generating answers to questions, AI misses a lot of fundamental points. And it's also, the third thing is, two more things. The third thing is, the way in which you ask a question of AI needs to be disclosed with the answer you get. Because you could be hiding information, so it's willful misconduct. So in an academic setting, make sure you know the question that was asked to the answer. And then the fourth thing is, I just identified a lot of bias. And I wasn't even looking for it, and it's there. There's a lot of bias. So those are some things top of mind. Well, my hope is that generative AI is used to be able to collect data that is relevant for the values, and those values that inform the leadership for each and every organization. AI is going to help every single employee weigh in on what they think the values are of that corporation, so that the entire corporation states what the corporate values are. And using those values, determine what the leadership attributes are that the employees expect, that the leaders expect of themselves, that their customers and their channel partners expect. AI is going to make significant gains in our ability to become companies that are based in integrity and are very ethical.